Well, hello and welcome to the first video on this new channel. I've come along to share with you this journal that I'm working on. It's a journal inspired by the lovely Cadile and also Past and Pages. I've done similar journals, but this is really inspired by those two ladies and the fantastic work that they do. So it's really springy, as you can see, and that's mainly because, if I take all of that out for a minute, that's mainly because it's cotton, and then there's a layer of cheesecloth, and then there's a layer of batting, quilting batting, and then there's a top fabric layer there, and they have all been, as you can see, rough stitched round. And then I found my centre fold point, and I've decorated the front using some of that old cotton bed sheet that's inside. There's some lace off my granddaughter's dress, one that doesn't fit her anymore. This is a charity shop top that I've got some lace from, and then there's a different pinky brown fabric there with some lace underneath, doily on top, and then I've put a rusty safety pin in it, and I've just stitched all around. This is actually a photograph of the cover of this 1895, I think it is, Strand magazine that I own. So that's really soft, strong but soft. And then inside, this is the collar of a charity shop shirt, and this is the button front section of that same shirt, and I just made it into a bit of a tuck spot. You saw I took the altered photograph out of there, and I've just put a little bit of fabric ruffle and another one of those sort of mini doilies, and that just tucks inside there like that. But today I would like to look at sewing the signature in, and I thought I would do that with you, put all those out of the way. So I've created the signature. This whole thing is, you know, previously, it's like reused, recrafted, redesigned. So it's all stuff that's either been discarded or reused or little scraps left. So I've just got one signature that's going to go in the centre there, and you can see, I mean, this is the fly sheet of a book. This is some graph paper that's been coffee dyed, packaging paper, coffee dyed paper. This is an actual vintage document from the tax office, 1912, and it had a rip in it. This paper that I stuck that to, which is out of an old bank book. So I've just stuck a vintage advert on top, and you've got coffee dyed paper. This is some paper that I've inked and stamped on. There's a children's songbook, coffee dyed paper, another vintage document, bit of lace. This is actually a paper bag, and then this is an actual vintage book spine, and the base of the bag to create a pocket. These are some gifted items, the Happy Mail. There's a pocket there. So it just goes on. I don't want to show you obviously all of it because that'll be in a flip through video later on. But I just wanted to give you an idea. This is some Battenberg lace off of an old tablecloth. Just wanted to give you an idea of how it's all coming together with pre-used items. Okay, so we need to find that centre. I'm sure if you're a junk journaler, you'll have done or seen this done many times before. When you've got a big layered cover like this, you really have to make sure that you're getting everything in. So and get that over the top of that stitching. Make sure that's in there. So that's going to hold that top, and then we're going to squeeze it all back into the middle nice and tightly. Make sure that's properly held down. Do the same on this side. Just make sure that's all properly held down, and then if you just check it and make sure that it is all perfectly central. If you're not happy with any of it, give it a bit of a push, and then I tend to put one on the side here. Whoops, one on the side here, and we've actually missed that page, so make sure we get that bit in as well. That's all pushed to the centre, then pick it up, do it again, make sure it's all nicely where you want it, and then whoops, we can put this one over all of that to make sure that that is holding all of that in place. Okay, looks a bit weird at the moment. Just make sure that's all exactly where you want it before you start. Okay, now the normal procedure now, as I'm sure you'll know, is to mark the points that you wish to take your needle through. So you would probably go to the centre. I usually only do the 3-hole pamphlet, so one there, come down about an inch I like to, one there, and then up about an inch, one there, and then I'll lay it down and I will push it all the way through, A, to increase the size of the hole, and B, to make a mark in the fabric so we know where we are. Okay, now you can do all sorts of things with the sewing in. You can add beads and pearls and buttons to your strings if you choose to. I tend not to do that. I like a nice straight stitch, and we've only got the one signature, so we're only going to have one cord coming down. This is a book binding thread that you can get on the internet or anywhere really. You can use embroidery floss. I've even seen people use standard sewing cotton, double, but you want something that's going to be nice and strong that you can give a bit of a tug to make sure it's where you want it to be. The only thing you need to be careful of when you've got a fabric cover is if you tug too hard, you will pucker your fabric, which we don't want to do. So I'm in the centre, going to push my needle through that hole we just created, and that's coming out like that. Give yourself a nice long tail. I'm just pulling it to get the second end out, and then what I like to do is push out from the inside so that I can see, look, there's the mark, that's where the hole is. So then if you turn it round, bring it back up, you can see the hole you've made in your fabric, and you can hopefully just feed that through all of your papers. If you can't, just do it again. Where is it going? It's going there, and we're through all of our papers. Changing the angle of your book will make a difference. So you do need to be careful on this front. It's a little bit fiddly, but it's worth spending a little bit of time to get it right. And you can feel generally, she says, I can't. Right, so let's go through again. Slide it backwards and forwards a little bit just to make sure. There you go. And it's through. Okay. It's really not that hard. It's just that obviously you tend to move the book around a bit, so you have to make sure that you've got everything, you know, where it's supposed to be. And then obviously out through the bottom one. You can see that bottom paper clip's moved. So you can see now, yeah, we've gone out, in through the top, down and out through the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to give it a tug, make sure it's tight, and then holding this piece to the top and pulling it tight. Get a good grip on there. We're going to go back through where we came out initially. Never easy on camera. Nothing's ever easy on camera. When you're doing it on your own, it happens straight away in 5 minutes. When you're trying to do something on camera, it messes around for you, of course. Can we come through there now? I think we have. Right, I'm going to take that top clip off so I can see where my needle is. Okay, so we're through there, we're through there, we're through that one. That's where we stopped. Look, through this one here. So in there, in there, in there. We need to come back down in that one. Open that one up. Open that one, that one, that one. There we go. And through these two. These are our last two. There we go. So we're in. Make sure that you've got one either side. One string to the right, one string to the left, and then go that way and pull it. You hear that? Nice and tight. We don't want this. Look, that's still too baggy, so a little bit more. You hear that? You can hear the difference. So last one, and then tie. 1, 2, I always do 3 just to make sure. 3. Take your clips off, any clips that you had left on there. Move all that out of the way. It doesn't matter that they get bent like that because you can easily bend it back through. Okay, and then if we close it up, I like to give it a good press. And now, sorry, turn it to face you. Now we have got a book, because now it's all joint in. It's all stitched down. And you just go through and press your pages against your stitches, and you can see that's all lovely and sewn in. We've got every page. Okay, now as you can see, I have done some decorating. There's some pockets, but I can go through now and I can continue to decorate up the rest of the book until it's a complete journal. Okay, so it's super springy, it's lovely. Haven't put closure on it as yet. We can do that right at the end. Some people would like to put it underneath there so that it's stitched out. I may well stitch mine here. I'm not 100% sure yet. We've got lots of loose threads where it's been through the sewing machine. I like some, we don't want all of them. Plus, of course, this cheesecloth is creating lovely grungy pieces for us. Now, this journal I've called Grandma's Journal, and I've called it Grandma's Journal because, being inspired by Parston Pages, she does abandoned houses. I didn't want to do that. Kathy tends to not really give hers a major title, they're just a journal. So this is Grandma's Journal Volume 1, and I'm going to go through now and I'm going to gradually decorate this up and add different things to it to make it more of a journal than a book of old pages. I mean, I've already got a flap there with some bits. There's a vintage type page, that's a Happy Mail page, and there's this journal card that I've just put the fabric, the rusty pin and stuff on. So there's more stuff going on all the way through. So there you go, short sweet introduction video to the channel, to the sort of thing that's going to be going on here. Lots of crafts, some sewing, some fabrics, some vintage papers, all sorts of things. So I hope you'll come back and join me again for video 2 of this channel. In the meantime, happy crafting, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.